So I've got my paper and I've got my pencil and I've got my flower. So you can see mine is quite a complicated one. I'm not gonna do the whole thing in my sketch, I'm just gonna give you an idea. Make sure you've watched the video about sketching, also on your activity, where the woman gives you some good tips, and she's a bit better than I am, but I'm gonna try my best. So keep watching and I'll show you how I will do my flower sketch. So I've chosen a smaller piece from my flower, so I'm going to try my best to sketch it. So I'm just have it beside me on my page, and the first thing I'm going to do is just try and sketch this stem, because that's the easiest bit. So I'm going to do my page portrait, so this way. So it's the long way, not landscape. I'm going to do a portrait, so it'll be a bit easier for me to do it that way. So I'm going to have the flower on my page. I'm going to try and do it big, but not too big. I'm going to lightly sketch this stem. Now remember, you're not doing dark lines, so you can see my stem so far is this kind of shape, because if you look at the flower, it is the same kind of shape. Now, we don't want this, because it doesn't look so good. We're pressing too hard on the pencil for that one. So that one is not what we want. We need to sketch really lightly. So I'm going to keep going and sketch the rest of it very, very carefully and show you what I have done. So now you can see what I've got. I've got my stem, I've done my flower. You can see I've added in the little details on the leaves, because if you look at the leaves, there are small lines if you look very closely. And I've tried to add everything I can see. Now mine is not perfect, because I'm not the most amazing artist in the world, but I tried my best. I tried to use the techniques the woman showed in the sketching video, and I'm pretty happy with what I've done. So now I can try and label the parts that I can identify using the Wakelet. So if there's any parts on the Wakelet that you just can't find on your flower, don't worry, just label the parts you can identify, and I'll show you how to do that now. So when you click on the Wakelet, it'll bring you here parts of the flower, and it shows you the picture, but if you go, there's a video on a PDF, gives you a bit more information. I'm not going to look at the video, but you can if you have time. If I click on the PDF, it will load, and it shows me lots of parts of the flower. Now, on my sketch, I know I can find the stem, I know I can find the petal, I think I can find the anther, and I can find the style and stigma, because I can identify that on my flower. So I'm going to label those things now. I'm not quite sure where the ovary is, so I'm not going to label that one now. I'm only going to identify and label the things that I can see clearly. So as I said, I can identify some of these things. I can find the stem. I can definitely identify petals. And these parts in here I could identify from what my research on the Wakelet was a filament. So trying to label all the things you can identify. Remember, if you're not quite sure, don't worry, just identify the parts you can see. And if you've got time, you can color it in, make it look even nicer after you've sketched with your pencil, and upload your work to Seesaw.